and welcome, mourners. You are listening to Dirge of Mourning's Coffin Carrier. We are your hosts, Andrew A. Graves, alongside Tara Bella Thorne. In this episode, we will be looking at Aphonic Threnody, The Ghost Song, from the albums When Death Comes, released in 2014, and the re-release When Death Comes Again, released this year, 2023.
A ghost is the tangible manifestation of a dead person. Others consider it to be a part of the person that has yet to cross over into the realm of death. existence of things that may be beyond our normal human understanding.
Fuck me.
Stop. Stop. So, we listened to both versions, yes. Both.
Yeah, I guess that's where we should start, right? There is two versions of this song. Like I stated in the intro there, the 2014 release and this year's release. Oh, both magnificent in their own rights. But I think we're going to focus on the re-release of this year, and that's where our main focus is going to be. But if I had to compare the two songs off the bat, it would simply be the main vocals and guitar have been pumped up to like 10 on the re-release.
Yeah, I thought so too.
As far as the original song goes, just quick sort of like side note for a quick scoring, I would definitely give it a solid 9. So that's where the original stands, at least for me.
Okay, so we're not really delving into the original. We're just
we're going to look at just the re-release one from this year.
Even though we listened to both for the comparison's sake, and I will say this straight off the bat, I preferred the re-release. I just liked it better. I felt that the guitar, I just love the guitar.
Yeah. It's much more powerful this time round.
Yeah.
Now, the most consistent thing about both releases is having Roberto and Ricardo reprise their roles within the band this time around again, with both vocals, guitar work, and keyboard, along with other great bands that joined them on this particular song.
We have a song about a ghost.
Well, that's the thing. Is it an actual ghost, or is it the memory of a person?
It's, to me, the song is a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you believe in ghosts or not, which the question is brought up because there is a spoken part in there about, something being or not being.
There's two spoken word parts that talk about the supernatural element of the song. But again, I think it could also be interpreted as a metaphor, like you said, due to the implication.
Can I just say I like the lyrics a lot. They're pretty straightforward. But can I say a couple of things?
Sure, go ahead.
The part that I liked the best was this. And this is where I would say it's less supernatural and more just of the memory thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there while you're growing old, and solitude is taking your mind. My screams are like the voice of a dumb. They won't break the borders of this prison where I'm chained. And it goes on, where I'm chained and dusted, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, that I wanted to ask you if you have the same interpretation as I do with that particular part. That almost sounds like he's talking to someone who has either Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because that's how this song sort of strikes me. Is that he's talking to someone who is slowly losing all of their elements. Hence the beginning part, which is just a fantastic way to start the song. I am behind you, whispering in your ear, but you won't turn your face at me. I become the lord of the silent speeches in the darkness of our room. That, to me, gets the idea that this person is talking softly to this person who is either losing their mind or lost their mind and is on their final sort of minutes on this, earth.
Well, as you know, I watched my mom go through this. So what happens is they, little by little, over the months and years, detach more and more. They are in basically their own world in their own mind. They're not there. Like they're not with you. They don't know who you are. They don't know what's going on. They're living everything simply in their mind, and we do not know what's in their mind. So it's very frustrating because you can speak directly to the person. They just look at you and maybe they smile with this vacant smile, or just stare, or don't even turn their head to you, which there's a part in there about that.
Well, it's not just that, but you're also talking about the idea of watching someone slowly disintegrate.
Yeah.
There's also a part in the song that kind of describes that as well. Time is the human way to count the pain.
Yes, that's right. So if we're sitting here, well, time is a big subject to talk about, but
well, I guess the best way to sum up time is we have sort of coined the term as the human race. It would be the idea of, going from, the cradle to the grave type thing, We judge ourselves from the minute we are born to the minute.
What they say, birth to death.
Yeah.
The passing
I think that basically sums up the concept there. How do you separate the idea of what is like, birth and death when they are going through the same sort of progress, but just in reverse? If you look at a newborn child, it doesn't understand, it's defenseless, it needs your constant care. Just like someone who is on their deathbed needs their constant care.
Yes. They often define, as you're beginning to go, that you are going back to being the way you were when you were young.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Benjamin Button movie, isn't it? I think the best thing
I was just thinking that. I was just going to say that myself. I was just waiting. Because there is a similarity in that sense where you look at, again, if this is about someone with either Alzheimer's or dementia, there is that element of they regress back to almost a childlike state where, they look at something that, might be banal to us, but they find it hilarious.
Absolutely. That's exactly how they are.
And also that they find that the simplistic things more entertaining, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
You rattle keys in front of a kid and they think it's great.
Yeah. My mom was a great fan of the Animal Planet channel. That's all she wanted to watch for her last year, So it was entertaining to her and sweet. Very sweet.
Oh, no, absolutely. But again, when it comes to the lyrical element here, one of the things I would like to point out as my personal favourite line, I feel I'll be condemned to haunt your tomb and look at you in point of death.
Mm-hmm.
That is my favourite line from this song, along with one other line, which is the next part: all my tears will vanish in haze.
Well, it's interesting you bring up this paragraph here with the tomb part, because when I was listening to the song and following along with the lyrics, which I love to do, my ideas went towards the romantic. This is a very romantic notion.
Yes.
I could see, Byron and cohorts doing this kind of thing and saying,
oh, absolutely.
Very sweet romance, though. Sad.
Well, this is the thing that we've said before.
Sad but romantic,
Yeah, but this is the thing that we've said before, is that funeral doom lyrics tend to lean more towards the poetic and the intelligent.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of, funeral doom lyric writers do look to, like, you know, the Romantic period for inspiration for the idea of how to get some things across.
Yeah, there's definitely influences. You can see it, you know, whether they particularly say, well, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to use some of this Poe or some of this Byron and think about this and put it in, or if it's just a natural progression.
Well, I would say for someone who also writes lyrics for fun, I do take a lot of inspiration from the old school in that sense when it comes to poetry. But I also look at, obviously, like, you know, the guys just, you know, that do funeral doom as well, and see how they structure their type of stories and concepts. And you sort of just mix and match those kind of ideas until you're satisfied with the way that you want to sort of get your point across. Especially within the funeral doom genre, I think that when it comes to writing lyrics like this, you have to have a personal connection to what it is that you're writing. It isn't something like where you're trying to write something like death metal, for instance, where you could write, you know, all these fantasy horror stories and have no real attachment to it. You know, you're just writing for fun.
Right.
Whereas with this style of music, there has to be a soul, if you like, you know, into the words and the way that they vocalize those words.
Yes.
Like the death growls utilized here are just so on point.
Exactly.
Along with the clean vocals in this particular version, they were much more haunting and sad, which I thought were, you know, it pulls at the heartstrings when you could really feel the emotion from the vocals.
Well, I think this one is set up in a pretty traditional manner. It did have a little bit more of a this is going to sound strange, but like a beat to it or something. Like you could
yeah. There is a structure
beat to it. Yeah. And I enjoyed that actually. I thought it was interesting. I just overall liked the song and really, really liked the lyrics. And well, you know what? Music and lyrics, both. I really enjoyed this one. But I am a very big fan of this band.
I was just gonna say,
I really like that.
This is one of your like top favorite funeral doom bands, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So, on a sort of is concerned, it may have that traditional element for the band, but I also have a great appreciation for how they utilize their instruments. Not only with the, you know, pacing of the drums, but also the elements of like keyboard that they use to enhance like an orchestrational element. The guitar work was just phenomenal.
I love the guitar.
And like I've already said, the vocalization this time round was just absolutely impeccable. There was no way that, you know, people shouldn't run out and buy this album, is basically what I'm saying. If you get the chance, go to their Bandcamp, go listen to this album, go grab a physical copy if possible.
It's sold out, I think. But
well, I'll still leave a link for their Bandcamp, etc.
They have digital available, I'm pretty sure.
Well, go buy the digital version if that's the only version you can. I'll leave a link for their Bandcamp in the description, along with a link to the song. I guess that just brings us to...
We might want to do both links, both songs, so people could compare the way we did at the beginning. It's interesting. I like both versions, actually. They're slightly different, but I did prefer the newer version. However, I liked both.
Yes.
So
I guess that just leads us into...
This one was kind of easy because we're both like, yeah, we just really like it.
Well, I guess that just leads us into the scoring then.
Okay. I'm a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to stand. It is just slightly better than the original version because, again, it's just a sort of remastered type of concept.
Yes.
But it is actually just slightly superior than the original. But yeah, it gets a 9.5 out of 10.
Very good. I like that. And I love the band.
Absolutely.
This one has very traditional sounds here. Like, to me, I can tell that this is this band.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Well, like I said before, guys, all the information will be in the description. Go and support the band. They are just top-notch funeral doom. I don't think you could get much better than these guys in terms of, you know, just all well-rounded elements of both.
Very solid. This is funeral doom. This is solid. Yeah, exactly.
This basically encompasses everything that the genre needs. It's got the funeral element. It's got the metal element. It's got everything.
Yep. And we love this kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
Yay.
Well, that's going to do it from us here at Coffin Carrier. Until next time, mourners, remember, every day is a funeral.